Hello, my name is Mike Shain, and welcome to Strictly Business. I'm also a mortgage officer at a local community bank, as well as a member of the Bellingham Business Association, and I am so very pleased to be the host of this month's edition. The BBA is a local business organization which works towards supporting our local businesses, as well as believing in giving back to the community and the people that which we serve. Today's guests on the show are Mr. Paul Nilson from Urban West Insurance Group and Mr. Phil Cicio from Success Think. Welcome, guests.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Welcome, Michael.
Before we talk to our guests, we're going to recap briefly what happened at last month's BBA meeting. It was held on May 18th at the Coachman Restaurant, and the BBA was celebrating its 30th anniversary. Yes, the BBA has been around for 30 years. All past presidents of the BBA were invited as guests, and many did in fact attend. And many actually spoke and gave their thoughts and their memories about the BBA when they were in charge. Also in attendance were Senator Moore, Representative Fatman, as well as Town Administrator Dennis Frayne. Also at this meeting was a very special presentation from Bellingham's own Steps Off Broadway. It was a great meeting, it was well attended, the food was excellent, and the BBA again was celebrating its 30th anniversary. Each monthly meeting of the BBA is held on the third Wednesday of the month at a local establishment, a restaurant, or a town building. It features a guest speaker who talks of interest to topics of local business owners and business leaders. These meetings include a dinner as well as time for networking. Now, on to our guests and on to our questions. Phil, talk about the services that you provide. What do you do?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show, Mike. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, people today are having, lots of struggles trying to get the results that they want in their business or even in their life for that matter, whether it be their relationships, their finances, their health. What I do is I help people really bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be. Most people aren't getting those results. They don't know why, but the answer is really simple. There's a gap in life, and there's a gap in business. It's called the knowing-doing gap. People know exactly what to do, but they don't do what they know. Most people know exactly what they need to do to have success in their business or in their life, but they don't actually go ahead and do what they know. So I teach people how to narrow that gap, how to close the gap. It's really about your self-belief system, your inner paradigms. And when people start to understand that, and they start to think differently, hence the name of my company is Success Think. I help people change the way they think. Everything begins to change in their business and in their life.
Okay. Paul?
I sell benefit packages to small, medium, and large-sized businesses throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the state of Rhode Island. I've been at it since '74. In addition to the benefit packages, I try to get the owners of these companies to come in for seminars on estate planning, asset protection, and elder care planning. I am amazed at how few of these business owners, I would guess 50%, based on my experience, even have a will. It's unbelievable how they resist talking about their own deaths. They spend their lives building up assets. And
why do you think that is? You think people have an aversion to talk about
they don't want
the
to
fidelity?
They don't want to talk about dying, but we're all going to die, and the question is, do you want to leave your assets to the federal government in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, or do you want to leave it to your family? And that's it. There's the choice in a nutshell. And even after being made aware...
You're going somewhere? I know you have keys in your hand.
I'm looking for a quick escape.
Okay.
Even after they've been made aware, it's amazing how many of them just sit back and still do nothing or procrastinate and then forget about it. I just am amazed that they don't act upon this information. And, well, the government depends on apathy, and I guess they get quite a bit of it from what I've seen. As for non-business owners, 70% of the people in this country don't even have a will. I mean, if you have young children and you don't have a will, you may think you know where your children are going if you die.
But you don't.
With a wife, a mass judge is going to pick the guardian.
Yeah, the idea was to plan now.
Mass judges shouldn't pick their noses, never mind guardians for children.
Okay.
Okay?
So Phil, Paul's talking about planning for success.
Sure.
Same thing with what you're doing?
Yeah, I help people, find success in their business. Most people, when we're talking about insurance, I mean, people don't really understand that life insurance, for instance, I mean, it's as valuable when you're alive as it is when you pass away. I mean, think about that for a minute. It gives you an instant estate. If you were to pass away, you're leaving an instant estate to your family. It gives you peace of mind. And what I do is I encourage people to get insurance, life insurance. And I encourage people to get overinsured. Plan for the life that you want to give to your family. Like, for instance, I have quite an extensive life insurance policy, and people say to me sometimes, why would you need such an extensive policy? And I share with them, well, I am trying to achieve a certain level of wealth for me and my family. If my life was to be cut short by some unforeseen reason, I still want my family to have that lifestyle. See, that's what we're trying to build. So I help people understand that process. I help people understand that the way they think is really creating the results that they're getting in their life. People don't really understand that. They look around at what's going on the outside. The economy is a negative news in the economy.
Sure.
They listen to talk radio, that's pretty toxic. There's lots of things going on outside that are affecting people on the inside. And if they could just focus on what's going on the inside rather than what's going on the outside, everything begins to change for them. But most people are caught up in their results. Listen, I have no money, there's no work, there's all this negative stuff in the news. It brings them into a negative place.
It's tough to be positive if you're negative.
Right, exactly. So when you're in a negative place, you're attracting negative things into your life, other people, and people want to stay away from you. When you're in a positive place, right, you're attractive. People want to get around you, and maybe opportunities will arise for you.
Now, I need to ask you, how did you get started with this as being a profession?
Okay.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've been studying this information for over 20 years now, and really been involved in personal development. It started out, I lived in Sicily. I was 19 years old. I wanted a better life. I was an auto mechanic. I decided to come to this country. I left my family behind. But one thing I took when I left my mom and dad behind, one thing that was really important is my dad was always helping people. When I was a young boy, everything that he did, he was always helping people in one way or another, whether it was family members, friends, the people that worked for him. He was always helping people. And I sort of got that sort of feeling too, that it's about helping others.
Lift up somebody.
Lift somebody up.
Sure.
I ended up really fortunately, I got a job here at an automotive dealership in Natick. It was called Foreign Motors West at the time. It was a luxury dealership, Mercedes-Benz. And the vice president of that company, who's actually lives here in Bellingham, he's been here for, I'm going to say 30 years. It's probably longer, but I don't want to give up his age.
30 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's probably been here longer. His name is Arthur Matroni. What a great guy. He was the vice president. Well, when I came on board there, I was 19 years old, but he was like the dad of the company. And he was, as a vice president, he always looking out for the people. It was amazing, So if there was some directive coming down, this guy would go, wait a second, these are my kids. You know what I mean? He makes sure.
He took interest in you.
He did. And not just in me, but everybody in the company. So he would always err to the side of the employee, helping. Well, I ended up through personal development, studying, reading and getting into mentorship programs and all the things that I've done in my personal growth world, whether it was just reading books on growing, I started to grow within that company. And when I got promoted in an executive position there, I sort of took on that same role that Arthur did. And together we worked together and helping people. And I realized when I had the most joy in my life was when I was helping others. So I decided to turn this from, just helping others as a, student of personal development to actually teaching other people how to do it and helping people in the industry. Being an industry leader in personal development.
Is it a science?
There is some science to it, yes. Yeah, it's all about thinking. See, your attitude is everything. If you were to just ask yourself, okay, think of the most successful person you know. You mentioned Oprah Winfrey earlier, okay?
Yes.
Think about, give me just one reason, one word why you think she's so successful. What would it be? What would be a word that would describe her being successful?
I would say uplifting, one of the things we're speaking about right now, all the people that she's mentored and helped.
Right, so uplifting. So what's uplifting? Uplifting is an attitude. You didn't say she's got knowledge, you didn't say she's got good skills and tactics.
Which are all true.
They're true,
Sure.
You have to have those, but if you think about all the successful people you know, most of the character traits are their persistence, their ability to understand and listen to others. These are all attitudes, right? Because attitude is everything when it comes down to it. So what I do is I teach people how to build on themselves or attitudes. For instance, I'm working with a company, I don't go in and teach them how to do what they already know how to do. Like I wouldn't go into an insurance office and teach them how to sell insurance. What I do is I work with the people, all right, the most valuable asset in the company, whether it's the owner or their employees, and I work on them to change their attitude, because if you have a good attitude, the success just chases you. I mean, it's literally, it shows up, right? So that's the most important component to anything in a business is their people, so I work on their people.
Now, Paul, you're also in the people business,
Yeah.
helping people. How did you get started with the insurance office?
I was working in computers for John Hancock in the late 60s. And
They had computers back then?
yeah, that filled an entire room.
Must have had vacuum tubes.
360, IBM 360 systems. And I got the highest ratings in my department year after year. I was there for 4 years. I took 3 tests to get a programmer analyst job. I got A+ in all 3 tests. They gave the job to a guy who couldn't read, write, or speak English because of EEO. Security took me out of the building after I got done telling everybody off.
Not a happy ending.
Oh, they called me back the next day and offered me my job back with a raise. I told them what to do with it, and I've been selling ever since.
How did you make the jump from John Hancock to insurance?
I didn't. I was going to get a sales job. I went to the newspaper. I picked out a job. I was selling dictionaries door to door, business to business.
Like Funkin' Wagnalls?
With a magazine deal. They used to drop us off in the town on foot in the business district, and we'd go door to door.
Tough way to make a buck.
I made a good living doing
Okay.
that.
You do have the skills.
My manager started stealing money on my commissions. I knocked him out. Then I went back to an insurance office where I had sold 2 dictionaries to the vice president and president of the agency in Arlington. They had offered me a job while I was there. I said, I got a good job. I just sold you 2 dictionaries. I went back there. I said, I'm looking for a job. They hired me. I was the leading agent in the company. my
So
first
you knew
year.
nothing but insurance at that time?
Nothing. All right, but my math skills are very, very good, and I'm a people person.
Which is
and
true.
I like to help people, and the business I'm in, I do an awful lot of good. Whether it be because I've sold them a better health plan if they get sick, everything's covered. I care about my clients. The life insurance proceeds, I try to make sure they set up trusts so that none of those proceeds go into their estate and are taxed by the government. The best feeling I have is when one of my corporate owners comes in for a seminar with my lawyers, myself, and an accountant, and we set them up so that the government cannot take a single dime of their assets when they die. Through the use of these trusts, family limited partnerships, and irrevocable life insurance trust, there's no reason why anybody should be paying inheritance taxes.
So if I said to you, you're offering legal protection,
I'm not a lawyer, but the people I work with
You
at
set
these
up-
seminars are.
with the people that you know, you're setting up
Yes.
protection for the people
And
for the
that's the
event.
best feeling I get. When I get out of one of those meetings and my client has put all of these things in motion, and I know that him and his wife, if they die tomorrow, their kids are gonna get everything.
You sleep well at night.
Makes me feel good. I make, don't get me wrong, I make great commissions.
Okay.
Okay? But that's the best feeling I get when I know that the government isn't gonna take them over the coals. And if you want proof of what the government does, go to the Sunday Globe and look under Saperstein and Saperstein. Every Sunday, lists and lists and lists of estate auction, estate auction, estate auction, selling off businesses, boats, cars, automobiles.
You want to make sure that never happens to your clients.
I don't want my clients to ever see any of that.
Okay. Okay. Phil, who are your clients and who are your customers?
Okay, my clients are, I work with business owners, mostly in the business world, it's commission salespeople. Because they need to go out of, they got to get out of the cave every morning, go out, kill something, and drag it home, or they're not eating, right? So they need to have a really positive attitude. They need to have a really positive attitude. So it's important to me to work with these people because these people are go-getters, right? And we need to make sure that when they're out there, they have the attitude necessary for success. One word, you said you were very successful in the industry when you're selling dictionaries. What's one word that would describe why you were successful?
Persistence.
Persistence is an attitude, right? It wasn't that he knew about the dictionaries, it didn't know that, it was, he had to have skills and knowledge, but the one word is persistence. I teach people on these words, persistence, desire, those kinds of attitudes that they need in order to have success, especially if they're commission salespeople. I also work with all kinds of individuals because I'm a life coach, so Outside of businesses, I'll work with anybody who wants to go from good to great. You know, I'm not a therapist. I'm not working with people that are really, you know, in trouble that need therapy. Okay, it's a different environment. But even if a therapist, all right, will refer someone to me, they'll say, you know what, I've been working with this person. They're doing good now. They need to get to great.
Does it start with their desire?
Yes, they have to have a desire.
Desire
to
key?
want more. Desire is such a key. It really is. If they have a burning desire, I can help them. You know, get to where they want to go. If somebody tells me what they want, I can help them get it. But they have to have a burning desire, and they have to be ready for it. You know, and it's amazing what
Commitment.
Commitment. And I work with groups, associations. I work with church groups. I'll work with anybody that just wants to improve in results in some area of their life, whether it's their relationships, their business, their finances, whether it's just with their health. You name it. I can help them with that by changing the way that they think, so that they're seeing themselves in a different light. You got to see yourself as a person with a winning image, and if you have a winning image in your mind, it'll manifest into your life.
It starts with the image.
It does.
Okay. Who would be your customers or clients?
All of my customers own business.
So self-employed?
Small businesses, self-employed, S-corps, C-corps, LLCs, anywhere from 1 employee to 200. I sell benefit packages to them. That's how I get in the door. If I can save them 10 or 15% on their health insurance by moving them to a different carrier or setting them up with HSAs to show them a better way to do what they're doing and save even more.
An HSA being?
Health savings account.
Thank you.
Sorry. And when you save business owners that kind of money, the second biggest check they cut every month is for health insurance. First is payroll. You save them that kind of money, you have their ear. That's when I go to the owners of the company and try to encourage them to come in for a seminar with the lawyers, the accountants, and myself.
Okay. Keeping in mind this is only a half-hour show,
Yep.
Do you foresee in the future healthcare costs going anywhere but up?
They're going to keep going up until somebody restricts what hospitals and doctors can charge. That's the underlying cause. The insurance companies are being painted as the bad guys here, and they are to a degree. But most of them are paying 88 cents to 90 cents on the dollar out on claims. It's when a doctor or a nurse delivers an aspirin to someone in a bed in a hospital and charges them $150 for it. That's the underlying problem. Someone has to stop them from charging these exorbitant fees for service, the unnecessary services they perform because you have health insurance, as opposed to if you go in there without health insurance and they don't perform all these other tests. They're scamming
But
us.
you see nothing in the near future that we're costing and coming down?
No, it can't happen. There's more and more people getting older and older. Therefore, there's more and more claims. The government has forced everybody to have health insurance or pay a tax penalty. So they've got us coming and going here. Because everybody has health insurance, the hospitals can charge for all these extra tests. I mean, 60 Minutes has done exposés on pharmaceutical companies who sell non-formulary drugs. They give samples to the doctors and they kick back to the doctors for prescribing them.
That's legal?
The chemical formula, they have a strong lobby. The chemical formula for this non-formulary drug is the same as the brand name. I'll give you an example. If the brand name high blood pressure medication is $90 a month, this same chemical formula is $270, and it's called Cadillac high blood pressure. This has got to be stopped. The lobbying, we need to stop. I can go on forever.
Okay,
about what's
we only
wrong
have a half-hour show.
what's wrong with the government?
As I said, okay. Phil,
Yes.
from a business standpoint, what are your greatest business challenges just to maintain income for your family doing life coaching?
Well, the economy in itself, right, is actually a benefit to me. The economy being in a bad place, if you will, with the news saying about how bad the economy is really a good thing because people are struggling and they need help. So that's the good thing. The bad thing about it is that people and business owners especially, they look at their current results. They look at their financial statements and they say, okay, this is where I am rather than this is where I was. And the challenge is to get them to change their mindset, because if you're looking at your W-2, you're looking at your 1099, you're looking at your financial statement, for instance, if we're talking about money, and you're looking at this physical result, and you say, well, this is where I am, so I can't do anything. I can't afford to bring in a coach. I can't afford to do whatever it is I want to do for my business. They're looking at their results. The results that they have are really just a reflection of what's happened in the past. It's got no bearing on their future. Right? Your potential future is much greater than your
So you have to
your
go in there and convince them that this is
Right.
an investment now to help their bottom line
Right.
down the road.
To simplify it, if somebody wants to buy a home today, right, and what they do is they look at their bank account and they say, okay, there's no money in my bank account, so therefore I cannot buy a home. Well, that's not true. You've got to make a decision to buy the home. Once you've made the decision to buy the home, the resources, the way to do it will start to unfold. Okay, but most people look at their current results and they say, I guess I can't do it. It would be like being in a fire. Imagine being in a fire, right, and there are flames all around you, and you focused on those flames, your results. What would happen to you? You'd probably burn, right? You need to focus on where you want to go, not where you're at. And as a business owner, I have to get them past that hurdle in their mind of don't focus on where you are, where you're struggling. Focus on where you want to go. Keep that image in your mind.
Are you,
and I'll help
are
you
you
get
finding that employers are open to the way you're presenting the benefits of life coaching?
Absolutely, absolutely. They love the idea. They know that it can help their people because we build on the people, okay? Rather than going in and changing systems and processes like a lot of business consultants do, that's not what I do. I go in and I focus on you. What can I do to make you grow so that the whole company grows? So the whole
Average size company that you work with?
I work from a two-man show to Fortune 100 companies.
Paul, same question.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Pardon me?
What was the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Your business challenge is to grow your business right now.
I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing. It's working. My income goes up every year. I'm not going to expand into a large operation where I have employees working for me. I don't want the headaches. My daughter may want to do that when she takes over the business, and nobody leaves their kids a bad business. I'm going to want my daughter to hook up with him at some point if she wants to. If she wants to grow it into something big. I'm too old to take on 40 or 50 employees. I'd end up killing half of them, for God's sakes, okay? I'm not interested in the headaches that come with them. I've been there, I've done that. I'm doing much better all by myself as a one-man operation than when I had 10 people working for me, okay? And that's a fact. I don't want to be big. I like where I'm at. I'm staying where I'm at. I'm comfortable. And I don't have the burning desire to get bigger.
Sure.
I think I've already told this to you.
You have, yeah.
But I also told you that my daughter is
Who's very nice, by the way.
who is young enough to have some desire and maybe might want to grow this thing into something big and take on all the headaches that come with employees and so on and so forth. I'm going to want her to hook up with you.
Perfect.
But I'm very happy where I am, and I don't want to bring on people and start having problems because I don't have the temperament for it.
Right. No, I understand, and I'd
You
love to
know?
work with your daughter. Absolutely.
Okay. Phil, what is your biggest business mistake, and what did you learn from it?
Biggest business mistake. I would say that in this business, I had my very first seminar. One of my very first seminars was a really big event. It went fabulous. What I didn't do was I made the mistake, I guess, at the event, really just raising awareness of what I do, but I didn't sell myself. I'm not a really good salesman. You know, I'm not one of those guys that can come in and sell. I'm just not that guy, right? I'm more of a soft sell guy. I'll show you the benefits. If you like them, great. If you don't, you know, fine. So I'm not really a hard sell guy, and I know that that could have really given me a big boost in my business, that first seminar, at least mentally for me.
Okay.
More so than financially, where I could have converted the room a lot better. But
What would you have done differently?
I think that I probably would have brought someone in to help me with that because I'm not a hard sell person. You know, it's not my demeanor. You know, that's not who I am. So I probably would have brought in maybe a business partner or somebody that could have come up and actually done that for me, that part of the thing for me. I'm getting better at it, but still, at this point now, what I've been doing is having people sell me rather than me sell me.
Paul, same question.
I don't hard sell. I agree with not hard selling.
How about business mistakes?
You
and
can't-
not that you ever made any, of course.
My biggest business mistake was a problem I had with the Commonwealth on taxes a long time ago. And I had a verbal agreement with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and they did not honor it. And when I called them on it, I was mad as whatever. And the guy said,
Heaven.
do you have anything in writing? And I said, no. He says, well, then you don't have anything. I said, okay, I just learned a big lesson in life, which is why I love to make sure people don't pay any extra money to the
I can see that,
Commonwealth
yes, yes,
or
yes.
the IRS. All right?
Okay. We have about 4 minutes left to ask some quick questions here. How do you like living in Bellingham?
I love living here. We've been here for over 20 years. Just really amazing. I've met some great people living here. Being a member of the BBA, I've been introduced to so many wonderful people. It's just a really great environment, great place to be, absolutely.
I've been here for 19 years, and this is a great town to bring up children in. They can thrive here. It's nothing like where I grew up, thank God. And I love this town. It's when you come from someplace bad to someplace like this, you really appreciate it.
Okay. Phil, tell us something about yourself that may surprise others.
May surprise others. I'm a pretty good businessman, but I don't come off as a pretty good businessman. I think that what I do is I'm just very genuine. I really care about people. I love to help, and sometimes, you know, I get into that point where I'm helping so much that I take away that businessman persona, if you will. But I'm a very good businessman, I feel. I love business, I enjoy it, but I love people so much that sometimes I hide that.
Okay. Tell us something about yourself that may surprise.
Mike, you know me, and I'm liable to do anything, anytime, anywhere.
Okay.
So there's no particular, every day surprises when you're around me. I'm liable to do anything for a laugh,
Yes.
on a whim.
Okay. Is there any special type of deceased comedians that you ever imitated of?
Rodney Dangerfield,
Really?
my hero.
Okay.
Okay. Excuse me.
Well, I didn't say the real word.
Okay,
There you
good.
go.
I want to thank Paul and Phil for being our guests on Strictly Business, sponsored by the Bellingham Business Association. The June meeting of the BBA will be held on June 15th at Lowe's Restaurant, and will feature both the presentation of this year's Citizens of the Year Award, as well as the 2011 winner of the BBA scholarships, and as always, time for networking. For more information on the Bellingham Business Association, please visit our website, www.bellinghambusinessassociation.org. We are always looking for new members and would be very pleased to discuss membership with you. This is Mike Shain for Phil and Rodney saying good night.
Good night.
Thank you.